Ever catch yourself wondering like, oh, why isn't my bank account bigger?
Oh, yeah.
Today we're going to take a deep dive into that very question.
Okay.
Guided by some wisdom from financial influencer Dmitry Uralov.
Cool.
He's got this YouTube video
Right.
that approaches this not just from like the usual budget better angle,
Yeah.
but from a surprisingly philosophical one.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really refreshing, actually.
Yeah.
Instead of jumping right into like tips and tricks,
Uh-huh.
Uralov starts by examining the very nature of money.
Yeah, it gets you thinking differently right from the start.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit.
Sure.
What is money, according to Uralov?
He defines it as a tool humans created to exchange value,
Oh, okay.
which sounds obvious at first,
Yeah.
but think about it. Like for most of history, we didn't have coins or bills.
Right.
We bartered.
Yeah.
So like a farmer might trade some of their grain for a blacksmith's work on their tools.
Right.
So it was a direct exchange of goods or services.
So money just kind of streamlines that.
Exactly.
Instead of me needing to find someone who wants exactly what I have to offer,
Yeah,
money acts as this like universal stand-in.
precisely.
Okay.
And that leads to Uralov's main point.
Which is?
If money is just how we trade value,
Right.
then not making money means you're not providing enough value.
Oh, okay.
At least not value that other people are willing to pay for.
That's kind of a punch in the gut, isn't it?
It can be.
We tend to think if we just work hard,
Right.
the money will follow.
Yeah, and hard work, it's important, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But Uralov argues it's not the whole picture.
Okay.
Think of it like this.
Right.
You could spend hours baking a delicious cake.
Okay, I like where this is going.
But if nobody wants cake,
Yeah.
nobody's going to buy it.
Nobody's going to buy it. No.
Right.
So it's not just about effort then.
Mhm.
It's about aligning that effort with what the market values.
Yes.
Like people are willing to pay for a baker's skills because they want that outcome, the yummy bread,
Exactly.
more than they want to hold on to their cash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where Uralov's concept of social value versus personal value comes in.
All right, now we're getting into the good stuff.
Yes.
Break this down for me. What's the difference between those two?
Okay, so social value is what society as a whole considers valuable.
Okay.
It's reflected in what people are willing to spend money on,
Mm-hmm.
what skills are in high demand,
Right.
those sorts of things.
Okay.
Personal value is what you find meaningful or important,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of whether other people agree.
So I might personally find immense value in
Yeah.
spending hours creating the perfect doodle,
Right.
but that doesn't mean society's going to line up to buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that disconnect is where things can get a little tricky.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because you love what you do
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean it automatically translates into financial success. Uralov acknowledges this can be a tough pill to swallow for many people.
Totally.
Yeah.
You can pour your heart into something,
Right.
but if it doesn't resonate with what the market wants,
Yeah.
you might not see that reflected in your income.
And that's where Uralov suggests we have two paths forward.
Oh.
Adjustment or acceptance.
Okay, let's dive into those.
Sure.
Adjustment, does that mean like changing what I'm doing
Yeah.
to better match what people are willing to pay for?
Exactly.
Okay.
It could be as simple as tweaking your skills,
Uh-huh.
finding a niche within your field, or
Oh.
even pivoting to a different area altogether.
Oh, wow.
It's about finding that overlap between what you enjoy
Mhm.
and what the market actually wants.
So not giving up on what you love,
Right.
but maybe adapting it
Yes.
to have like a higher social value.
Precisely.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
And on the flip side then, acceptance is acknowledging that
Yes.
maybe your passion won't make you rich, but the personal fulfillment you get from it is enough,
Exactly.
which isn't a bad thing.
No, not at all.
There's so much pressure to monetize everything these days.
Oh, tell me about it.
Uralov seems to be saying, it's okay if you choose to do something just because it lights your soul on fire.
Yes.
Even if the financial rewards are smaller,
Exactly.
both paths are valid.
Mm-hmm.
It really boils down to your individual priorities
Right.
and what you're ultimately seeking.
Yeah. Good point.
This is giving me a lot to think about already.
Me too.
But before we get too deep into the what to do about it part,
Okay.
let's pause here for a second.
Sure.
Listener, we want you to take a moment and reflect.
Yeah.
What resonates with you so far?
What stands out?
What stands out from this initial look at money as an exchange of value?
Yeah. Good question. Yeah, it's easy to fall into that trap of thinking
Yeah.
if I just work hard enough, the money will come.
Right.
But as we've been discussing with Yurlov's insights,
Yeah.
it's more nuanced than that. Yeah.
Effort is important, no doubt.
Right.
But aligning that effort with what others value is key.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, how does Yurlov suggest we actually figure that out?
Oh.
Like, how do we determine what has social value?
So he offers a few really practical strategies in his video.
Okay.
One of the biggest ones is to specialize.
Interesting. So instead of being a jack of all trades,
Yeah.
become really good at one specific thing.
Yes. Yurlov argues that specialization allows you to hone your skills and become an expert in a particular area.
Okay.
This increases your value because you're offering a level of knowledge and expertise that few others possess.
Right.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
If you need brain surgery, you're not going to go to your general practitioner.
Of course not.
You're going to seek out a neurosurgeon who has dedicated their life to mastering that specific skill.
Makes sense.
Right.
And I guess that also ties into his emphasis on understanding your target audience.
Yes, exactly.
If you know exactly who you're serving
Yeah.
and what their specific needs and desires are,
Right.
you can tailor your skills and offerings to meet those needs.
Exactly. You're speaking Yurlov's language now.
Awesome.
It's not enough to just be good at something.
Yeah.
You need to be good at something that other people want.
Right.
And you need to be able to communicate that value effectively to your target audience.
So that's where marketing comes in.
Yes.
Not just shouting into the void,
Right.
but actually understanding your audience and speaking directly to their needs and desires.
You got it.
Awesome.
Yurlov also talks about the importance of what he calls working smart, not just hard.
Oh, I love that.
It's about focusing your efforts on activities that actually move the needle and generate results, rather than just spinning your wheels and burning yourself out.
I love that. Working smart, not just hard.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional with your time and energy.
Yes.
It reminds me of the Pareto principle, the idea that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts.
Oh, yeah.
So identifying that crucial 20% and really honing in on it.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And sometimes that might mean saying no to opportunities that don't align with your vision or your goals.
Oh, that's tough.
It can be, but it's
Yeah.
about being selective and focusing on what truly matters.
So for our listener who's maybe feeling a little lost or overwhelmed, what's like the first step they can take to start aligning their efforts with what's actually valued?
Yurlov suggests doing a bit of self-reflection and market research.
Well, okay.
So on the personal side,
Yeah.
really get clear on your strengths, your passions, your skills.
Okay.
What are you naturally good at?
Right.
What do you enjoy doing?
What are you drawn to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then look outward.
Yeah.
What skills or services are in demand in the market?
Right.
Where are the gaps that you could potentially fill with your unique abilities?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's about finding that sweet spot where your passions intersect with what the world needs.
That's a great starting point. But what about the emotional side of this?
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest, it can be pretty discouraging to realize
Right.
that what you love might not be what society values,
Yeah,
in a monetary sense at least.
absolutely. And Yurlov doesn't shy away from acknowledging that. He talks about the potential for frustration,
No.
self-doubt,
Totally.
even feeling misunderstood.
Like you're putting your heart and soul into something,
Yes,
but it's not getting the recognition or the financial reward you feel it deserves.
exactly.
Yeah.
He emphasizes that it's important to acknowledge those feelings and be kind to yourself.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's not about judging yourself or your passions.
Right.
It's about understanding the dynamics at play and finding a path that feels both fulfilling and sustainable.
I think it's also important to remember that social value isn't static.
That's a really insightful point.
What's hot today
Yeah.
might be completely irrelevant tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not about chasing trends. It's about developing a deep understanding of the underlying needs and desires that drive those trends. Those tend to be more constant.
Right. Those are more human needs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example, people will always need food,
Yes,
but the specific types of food they crave might change over time.
that's true. That's true.
Right.
Okay, so we've got some tactical advice here.
You're right.
We've addressed the potential emotional hurdles. What else does Yurlov offer in terms of navigating this whole value exchange thing?
He emphasizes that this is a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
You're going to constantly be learning,
Yeah.
adjusting,
Right.
refining your approach as you gain experience and insights.
That makes me feel a little better, actually.
Okay.
It takes the pressure off having to figure everything out perfectly right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about embracing the process
Mhm.
and being open to the possibility that your path might evolve over time.
I think it's easy to get caught up in what we should be doing or what we think will make us the most money.
Right.
But Urilov's message is so refreshing.
It is.
It's about finding that balance between personal fulfillment and social value and creating a life that feels authentic and meaningful.
Well said.
Thanks.
And remember, you don't have to do this alone.
No, that's good.
There are tons of resources available, books, podcasts.
Podcasts like this one?
Exactly. Online communities that can provide guidance and support along the way.
Now you're just plugging the show.
No.
But you're right. There's no shame in seeking out help and advice.
No, not at all.
We're all in this together,
Mhm.
figuring it out as we go.
Absolutely.
Which reminds me, before we wrap this up,
Okay.
Yurilov focuses mainly on exchanging value for money,
Right.
but I feel like this applies to so much more than just our careers.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
about how we approach relationships,
Mm-hmm.
how we contribute to our communities,
Right.
even how we spend our time and energy.
Exactly. Like volunteering your time at a local shelter.
Yes.
You're not getting paid,
Right.
but you're providing value to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And in return, you're getting a sense of purpose and fulfillment.
Precisely. And it might even lead to unexpected connections and opportunities down the road.
Oh, wow.
You never know how these acts of value exchange, even outside of a monetary context, can ripple out and create positive change.
This is making me think about those folks who are incredibly talented artists or musicians,
Yeah,
but struggle to make a living from their art.
right.
They might choose to keep creating,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just for the joy of it,
Yes.
or for the connection it creates with others.
Absolutely.
That's still a valuable exchange, even if it doesn't fit neatly into society's definition of success.
Beautifully put.
Oh, shucks.
And that brings us to a final thought for our listener. So as you're reflecting on all this, we challenge you to consider, what are the less obvious ways you're already exchanging value?
Oh, okay.
It might not be bringing in cash, right? But is it enriching your life or those around you?
Because sometimes the most valuable things aren't the ones with a price tag.
Exactly.
Like spending time with loved ones,
Yes.
offering a helping hand,
Mhm.
or even just sharing a kind word.
Absolutely. Those actions have ripple effects we might not even realize.
That's true.
Thinking this way can help reframe even situations that seem frustrating.
Okay.
Like, say you've got a hobby you're passionate about,
Mm.
but it's not going to be your career.
Right.
Instead of viewing it as unsuccessful because it's not making money,
Yeah.
what if it's succeeding at bringing you joy,
Okay.
stress relief, maybe even connecting you with a community of like-minded folks?
That's such a powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
It's like even if that side hustle isn't paying the bills,
Yeah.
it's still paying you in other ways that matter.
Exactly. And who knows? Maybe that seemingly non-profitable passion is what keeps you energized to excel in the area that does bring in the income.
Oh, interesting.
It's all connected.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
Jurilov's ideas about value exchange have really got me thinking beyond just the dollars and cents.
Yeah, me too. It's been a pleasure unpacking this with you.
Likewise.
And for our listener, we hope this has given you some new ways to view not just your work,
Right.
but all the ways you interact with the world.
Because whether you're adjusting your approach to better align with market demand
Mm-hmm.
or accepting that some passions are their own reward,
Yes.
it's about understanding that value comes in many forms.
And finding what truly resonates with you.
Yeah.
Both personally and in the wider world.
Right.
That's what makes for a life well lived.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
We encourage you to continue exploring these ideas.
Yeah.
Even check out Urilov's full video for more of his insights.
Until next time, keep those brains buzzing
Yeah.
and keep seeking out those valuable exchanges, whatever form they may take,